Hi, students. We've made it to Module 3, and I just thought I'd stop in and talk to you a little bit about some of the things that are really important for this chapter. So, one of the things that I find striking is that the gaps in education are seen by the age of 2 years old. And at 2 years old, we're seeing gender differences, racial differences, differences in socioeconomic status. And one of those main things is due to differences in parenting. So when I look at this class, probably this third module is the one that I think is probably the most important to completely understand. So I am going to share my screen with you so that um, you will be able to see what I'm talking about as I'm talking about it. Well, maybe I can. Hang on, I'm going to just pause the recording for a second. So, one of the things that comes out of this chapter, and some of you may have heard it before, maybe you haven't, is the Adverse Childhood Experiences quiz. If you have not yet taken it, there is a QR code there for you to take it. But basically, the idea about the adverse childhood experiences is that experiences that are traumatic and things that have impacted us greatly in our childhood sticks with us for throughout our lifespan. And one of the things that if you were to click on that, you could see that some of the decisions that people make later on in life can ultimately lead to earlier death simply because of adverse childhood experiences. So that link that I have there for you and is on the course page is an interesting one for you to be able to take a look at. The other thing that's interesting about this topic is the idea that our parenting styles vary. There's a lot of online things to take to see what kind of parenting style you would have. But overall, it goes on two parameters. One of those parameters is on expectation, how much demand the parent has. And then the other one is how much support or love that the parent shows, which results into four different kinds of parenting styles. And you probably will recognize your own parents in these as we talk about them. So the most popular one, most popular in the United States right now has always been the authoritarian. These are what we call strict parents. So they have really high expectations. They don't explain the rules very much. They're very controlling. They use punishment for disobedience. They're very top down in their thinking. These parents, it's not that they don't love their children. They think that what they're doing is the correct way. So you see this in a lot of religious families. You see this in a lot of lower socioeconomic status. Um, and they think that they're helping their children, but the results are that you may get obedient children, but obedience is only lasts for as long as that person is there controlling them. So oftentimes these kids will get very rebellious in their teenage years. They may view their parent as their enemy. They don't have a good sense of what is right and wrong, and so have trouble making decisions, are more prone to peer pressure. Overall, in adulthood, grow up to have less happiness and lower self-esteem. So, permissive parents is the ones who have no firm rules. They have no demands or expectations and just basically come from a point of all that people need is love. So a lot of times this is a knee-jerk reaction to people who are raised in really strict homes. They say, oh, I'm not going to raise my child that way because my parents were so harsh on me. I'm just going to love my children. They act more like a friend than a parent. And what the result is to have children who have a lack of self-control, are very immature, problems with authority. oftentimes get into trouble and have difficulty completing projects, doing things. So it's not the case that love is all that a child needs. Neglectful or uninvolved parents are low on all things, and they're, in my opinion, not really parents at all. They don't have demands, but they also don't have very much interaction. The effects on the children of having an uninvolved parent is to feel neglected, to feel abandoned, to feel low levels of self-esteem. So let's just hope that none of you ever become that kind of parent. So all of the research indicates that the best type of parenting style is the authoritative, sometimes called the democratic. Democratic style is one where you're responsive, you have strong sets of expectations, but those expectations are explained and you are taking the input of the child as well. And so you want the child to be socially responsible for themselves. So if you had this kind of parents, you probably had the discussions that said, I expected more out of you, and I was very disappointed. So it's exhausting. It takes a lot of work, but clearly all research indicates that that is by far the one that leads to happy, capable, successful children, and that they make good decision makers and all of that wonderful things that we hope all children grow up with. The other topic of interest in this section is on understanding attachment styles, and I have a very good video, a YouTube video about that that I will put up there for you under the resources. But one of the things about attachments is that children need to feel secure and loved, and they need to have someone who gives them that attention, especially in those years prior to 2 years old. And so I just wanted to highlight a couple of the things. Of course, as always, if you have questions or comments or thoughts, please reach out to me. This is a topic that I happen to be passionate about, so would be happy to meet or talk to anyone and answer those questions. I hope you learn a lot in this module, and it's been nice having a couple of minutes here to just make this little recording to help you out.